And that's what Jesus teaches you. That you find the kingdom of God inside yourself. You find the key of knowledge inside yourself. You find the supreme light inside of yourself. You can never be Jesus, but you can become Christ. It's like Paul in the Bible said, it's not me, it's the Christ within me. That's what has to happen. If you're prepared to do that, it'll happen.
For centuries, we have been looking for the divine in the wrong places, in stone buildings, in distant skies, or in the words of others. We have looked for light in the sun and the stars, yet the secret preserved in the ancient records is that the light you seek is already within you. It exists within your cells, within your consciousness, and within your very being. You are, in the deepest sense, light expressed in human form. This video is about remembering who you actually are. Together, we will explore the forgotten instructions of Jesus, a biological and spiritual activation protocol designed for the human body, mind, and spirit. This is a practical guide. Along with the teachings, you will find specific exercises designed to help you discover the kingdom within and rekindle the inner flame that never goes out. You are the light of the world. If your eye is single, your whole body shall be full of light. With these words, Jesus pointed to a reality that most of us have spent our entire lives ignoring. We have been conditioned to search for light in the world around us, in the brilliance of the sun, the distant stars, or the flickering lamps of the temples. But this external light is merely borrowed or reflected. Jesus taught that the human body is not a prison for the soul, but a solar temple, a sophisticated instrument designed to house and amplify radiance. Every single cell in your body is a generator of light, emitting tiny particles called biophotons. You are, in the most literal sense, light trapped in form, particles of luminosity held within a structure. When Jesus spoke of the single eye, he was referring to the internal portal, a point of convergence between the brows where your attention becomes so intense that it begins to generate its own luminosity. By focusing your attention on this internal portal, you can begin to intensify this inner glow. Your eyes don't only receive light, they also create it. This is why ancient prophets often retreated into the absolute darkness of caves, not to escape the world, but to stop depending on external light and encounter the light that never goes out, that shines from within. In that darkness, many began to perceive subtle patterns, spirals, circles, and luminous geometry appearing behind closed eyes, as if emerging from nothing. This internal light is a living presence that can grow, expand, and fill the entire body, before extending outward to illuminate the space around you. However, if this light is not activated or expressed, it doesn't disappear. Instead, it turns inward, becoming internal darkness that manifests as heaviness, illness, decay, and slow spiritual death. Jesus said, "If you bring forth what is within you, what you bring forth will save you. If you don't bring forth what is within you, what you don't bring forth will destroy you." The universe itself can be seen as light in different states of density, condensed like stone, less condensed like water, even lighter like air, and fully free like Christ. Matter is simply highly compressed light, and what is compressed can expand again. In this context, Christ is not a person, but a state of complete coherence between spirit, mind, heart, and body that can awaken in anyone. Jesus was the one who fully remembered this original nature, and his mission was to ignite this flame, which begins in the forehead and the heart, to trigger the remembrance in others. He came to show the path of transformation. If this light is real within us, then the body cannot be treated as ordinary matter. It becomes something more precise than that. It becomes a temple. Those who understood this deeply were said to illuminate entire rooms through their presence alone. A subtle light body exists in everyone, dormant and waiting to be activated through the purification of the body, the calming of the mind, and the gradual expansion of the heart. As these inner particles synchronize and become coherent, we move toward a shift in state, where density becomes light again. This process requires careful preparation. The following chapters provide the steps to refine the physical form, so it can hold this intensity without destabilizing. To begin the process of lighting that flame, we must return to the simple practice. Find a place of absolute silence and total shadow, where even sunlight cannot reach. Close your eyes. Don't try to see anything with your physical vision. Instead, turn your attention inward. Observe the dark space behind your eyelids. Wait and watch. Don't force any imagery. Simply watch the darkness with the patience of a watcher in the night. Gradually, you will begin to notice tiny flashes, small dancing sparks of light that appear and disappear. Know that these sparks are not coming from the outside. They are the first manifestations of your cells creating light. You may see patterns, spirals, or geometric shapes beginning to form from the void. Take a deep breath. Imagine each cell of your body as a small star, forming a vast inner galaxy. With every inhale, visualize the stars becoming brighter and the light growing into a soft sphere that fills your skull and expands until your whole head glows from within. With every exhale, imagine the density of your body being released, allowing you to become more transparent and free. You may feel warmth or subtle pressure, as if something is awakening. Practice this for about 20 minutes daily, ideally for 40 days. Accompany this with the affirmation, "I am light, remembering that I am light." My body becomes more receptive, more transparent, more free. With time, this presence becomes easier to perceive even in daily life. The purpose is not to gain power. It is to allow a gradual transformation of what you are at the most fundamental level. Do you not know that your body is a temple? The lamp of the body is the eye. If therefore your eye is good, your whole body will be full of light. Your body is not a tomb or a vessel of heavy, dying matter. It is, in its most fundamental state, condensed and organized light. Every cell in your body contains the same energy that sustains the stars, acting as a generator that emits tiny particles moving continuously within you. When you are healthy, this light is strong and coherent, functioning like a biological laser that communicates with the entire universe. When you are ill, the light becomes weaker and more chaotic, and when it fully collapses, the body dies. What you call a sick body, or dying matter, is only the surface. A human being dies because their light fades. You are born with this light active, but life, suffering, and forgetting slowly dim its radiance. The role of Jesus was not to give you something you lack, but to remind you of what you have always been. We are beings of light. This is why fasting restores. This is why the sun restores. This is why some foods give life while others take it. Everything is light in different forms. Plants capture sunlight and turn it into life. We, in turn, consume that captured light. When you eat a fruit, you are eating condensed sunlight that transforms into flesh. When you breathe, you bring light into your cells. External light awakens internal light. As above, so below. This is why ancient people honored the morning. This initial light at dawn is not merely heat. These rays activate internal biological processes that no medicine can replicate. Every morning is an initiation. There will be days when you forget what you are. Days when darkness feels more real than light. On those days, return to the beginning of the day. Stand before the first light and let it remind you that your only task is to learn how to shine. Wake before sunrise. Find a place where you can see the horizon. Stand under the first light of the sun, barefoot on the earth if possible. Extend your arms and breathe consciously. Take 3 deep breaths. When the first edge of the sun appears, look at it briefly. Close your eyes immediately. Watch the colors and patterns dancing in your inner darkness. This is your internal light responding to the external source. Imagine the golden light entering your lungs and being carried by your blood to every single cell. Remain still for 5 minutes, feeling the warmth on your skin, and repeat internally, I am light. I am remembering that I am light. Your body is the most sophisticated solar temple ever created, and when it shines as it is meant to shine, it becomes so radiant that no disease or darkness can find a place to dwell within it. If you have faith as a grain of mustard seed, nothing shall be impossible unto you. When Jesus speaks about faith as small as a mustard seed, he describes a reality where faith is vibration. He said, according to your faith, let it be done to you. And your faith has healed you. Go in peace and be freed from your suffering. Jesus says this to a woman who had been suffering from bleeding and is healed after touching him. Faith is your internal frequency. Therefore, reality reflects back to you exactly what you vibrate. And because of this, what we call miracles can be seen as moments where perception and matter respond to a higher coherence. This is why Jesus could walk on water or multiply food and wine as expressions of a deeper principle, that matter is not fixed substance, but vibration in different states of density. We live in a universe where nothing is truly solid. Everything we perceive as matter is, in fact, frozen vibration. There is no such thing as dead matter. Everything vibrates in different states of density. Stone vibrates slower than air, and air slower than light. Even a tiny amount of focused frequency, like a single grain, can reorganize the entire field around it if the vibration is pure. If your heart and mind are in conflict, your vibration is chaotic, and your reality remains stagnant. But when you vibrate with your whole being, you can literally move mountains by shifting the vibrational structure of the matter before you. Reality is not fixed, it is responsive. If vibration carries information, then anything capable of holding a stable pattern can also hold memory. Stone changes very slowly. For this reason, it acts as a long-term recorder and stabilizer of energy, intention, ritual, and consciousness. Sacred sites were often built among great rocks or from massive stone blocks because stone was believed to preserve and amplify the energetic imprint of a place. Perhaps this is why some locations feel different the moment we enter them, as if the land itself remembers. Human emotions come and go, trees grow and die, but stone can remain unchanged for thousands of years. This is why many ancient traditions believed that sacred places gradually carried the consciousness of those who gathered there. Faith is not merely a belief held in the mind. It is a state of coherence between thought, emotion, and intention. When a prayer is spoken from such a state, it carries far greater force than words alone. Every prayer uttered with genuine conviction, every act of focused intention, and every moment of deep inner coherence leaves an imprint in the world around it. Stone doesn't forget. It retains these patterns for centuries, even millennia. This is why sacred places like temples and cathedrals affect the human mind. They resonate on frequencies that can shift perception and produce altered states of consciousness. The great temples of antiquity were not built as mere houses for a deity. They were precisely engineered instruments designed to house and amplify specific vibrations. This is why ancient builders carefully selected specific stones and carved them at specific angles to create resonance chambers. These temples are not sacred because God simply lives there. It is the other way around. God is experienced there because they were designed to resonate with divine frequencies. The entire structure functions as an instrument. When a person entered these spaces, their own biological frequency would begin to phase lock with the environment, inducing altered states of consciousness and deep healing. Each morning after receiving the first light of the sun, sit in silence. Place one hand on your heart and breathe until you clearly feel your heartbeat. Then, with closed eyes, let a single sustained sound arise naturally from your chest. Don't force it or choose it mentally. Let the body find it. Let the heart decide. Let it rise from your center of fire, beneath the heart. Sustain this tone for as long as it naturally continues. Observe where it vibrates, in the chest, throat, head, or deeper within the body. Repeat this tone for 9 breaths. Over time, the tone becomes clearer and more stable, and gradually, there is a shift in perception. You begin to sense that you are not the one producing the sound, but that something is expressing itself through you. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life. With this statement, Jesus revealed that words are more than language. They are vessels of intention, living energy, and creative force. In the ancient Gnostic understanding, a word is a container of vibration, and where there is vibration, there is creation. Before light appeared, there was sound that organized light into form. This is why it is said, "In the beginning was the Word," the original vibration that structured form out of chaos. At the beginning, there is sound. Sound doesn't merely describe reality, it organizes it. A single word carries structure. It has weight, form, and direction. And matter responds. Matter is essentially frozen vibration. And when a pure sound touches matter with a focused heart, that matter has no choice but to reorganize itself. This is demonstrated by experiments where water is exposed to sound and intention. It doesn't move randomly, but forms structured geometries, perfect symmetrical patterns like living shapes of light, as if sound is sculpting the water itself. Modern research has visualized this through the work of Masaru Emoto. Water possesses a profound memory and is even more sensitive than stone. Because the human body is approximately 70% water, it is exquisitely sensitive to every sound and intention we project. Sound doesn't remain outside of us. It becomes us, cell by cell. Words of love and gratitude create beautiful, symmetrical patterns within our internal water, while words of hatred create fragmentation, chaos, and distortion. Every lie, every insult, and every curse we speak doesn't only wound another. It first reorganizes and destroys our own internal geometry from the inside out. We are constantly sculpting our own health or disease through the sounds we allow to resonate within us. Emotion carries a stronger signal than thought alone because it originates in the heart, which possesses a different level of coherence than the analytical mind. For a word to heal, you must first allow emotion to become vibration in the heart, and then release it as sound. When we experience genuine love, the internal waters align into ordered patterns, and this information is transmitted to every cell. Ancient traditions understood that certain sounds open specific states within the body, states that the rational mind keeps closed. This is why sacred singing existed, why psalms were sung, why David's harp was said to calm King Saul. Specific frequencies can retune the nervous system. Creation itself moves in octaves, 7 notes, 7 colors, 7 centers in the human system. And the 8th is the return to the beginning, but on a higher level. The same tone yet elevated, forming a spiral of evolution. This is not a circle. A circle closes upon itself. Evolution moves as a spiral, always returning, yet never to exactly the same place. The Earth itself emits a constant frequency of approximately 7.83 cycles per second. When humans align with this frequency, the brain enters states of deep coherence. To attune to this rhythm is to attune to life itself. Measurements of ancient chants, Gregorian, Sufi, Vedic traditions show overlapping frequency ranges that correlate with theta brain states, deep rest, coherence, and inner access to what Jesus called the kingdom within. Your body is like a musical instrument. Your spine is the flute, your skull is the resonance chamber, and your heart is the drum. And when all systems align, what emerges is what mystics call harmony of being, or the frequency of the divine. Every morning, hold a glass of pure water with both hands. Before drinking, speak words of power over it, such as thank you, love, or light. Don't speak from the mind. Let the emotion become vibration in your heart first, then release it as sound into the water. Speak to your body with gratitude before sleep. Your body hears you. Speak to it gently, and it responds. Acknowledge your cells, your blood, and your heart, knowing they have ears and are constantly listening to your commands. Jesus said, "I have come to bring fire on the earth." Fire is the force that turns ignorance into knowing, fear into freedom, and matter into light. When Jesus spoke of bringing fire to the earth, he was referring to the awakening of the divine spark hidden within humanity, the spark of direct knowing that burns away forgetfulness. John the Baptist pointed to this same principle of transformation when he said, "I baptize you with water for repentance, but after me comes one who is more powerful than I, whose sandals I am not worthy to carry. He will baptize you with the Holy Spirit and fire." Water symbolizes preparation. Fire symbolizes transformation. One cleanses, the other changes the very nature of what it touches. Something old is consumed so that something higher can emerge. This is why Jesus added, "How I wish it were already kindled." He was speaking of the divine spark within humanity, waiting to be ignited. What is this fire? It is warmth, light, and transformation. But there is something deeper. Fire is not a thing or an object. It is a process. It is the state of matter remembering that it is, and has always been, energy. To understand this inner fire, we must look at the nature of a tree. For decades, a tree stands in the sun, absorbing and storing solar energy through its growth. When wood burns, we are not creating fire from nothing. We are witnessing stored energy returning to light and heat. You are exactly like that wood. You are not a physical body trying to develop a soul. You are a soul that has temporarily taken on a body. You are the eternal fire that chose to become form. Fire is memory. It illuminates and transforms matter back into its original state of energy. It is the sun remembering its own nature. And when the body dies, nothing in you is extinguished. You simply remember what you are. Everything in the universe is one single fire expressing itself in infinite forms. This realization fundamentally changes our perception of death. If the soul is a flame, it can move from one piece of wood to another. The flame may seem to vanish when the wood is spent, but the capacity to burn, the essence of the fire itself, never disappears. Death, therefore, is the moment when the fire remembers that it no longer needs the wood to exist. Because the soul was never born, it has no beginning and no end. Fire doesn't multiply or divide in the way matter does. Like a single lamp that can light 100 others without its own brilliance diminishing, consciousness is an infinite source, not a limited resource. One flame can ignite another, and the original flame is not reduced. This is what you are. This is consciousness. Your body is beautiful but temporary. It is the wood. The fire you are is eternal. Those we love and lose are not truly gone. Their fire has only changed form and joined the endless field of light. Lie down in a quiet space and place your hands over the center of your chest. Close your eyes and focus on the physical warmth generating beneath your palms. Feel the rhythmic beat of your heart. This is the flame of awareness inside the body. Stay with this feeling for a few moments, without forcing it, allowing it to become clear. Imagine that your body is a log of wood that has stored years of sunlight. Visualize a small golden flame at the center of your chest. With every breath, see this flame growing brighter, consuming the density of your stress, your fears, and your heavy thoughts. Hold the thought, I am the fire, not the wood. Imagine your personal flame reaching out and connecting with the flames of everyone you love, and eventually with the great ocean of light that powers the stars. Remind yourself that when the body eventually stops, this fire is not extinguished. It is simply released into its original, limitless state. This is how the soul continues, as a steady glow that never fully cools. Jesus said, "Forgive, and you will be forgiven. Love your enemies." These instructions point to a state where the heart is no longer ruled by reaction, but remains stable, clear, and open even in the presence of pain. They represent a necessity for anyone seeking to maintain their inner light. Resentment is not just a feeling. It is like water that extinguishes the fire of the soul, or like a poison we drink, hoping the other person will be affected. Then Peter came to Jesus and asked, "Lord, how many times shall I forgive my brother or sister who sins against me? Up to 7 times?" Jesus answered, "I tell you, not 7 times, but 77 times. 77 points to the absence of limit. In a deeper Gnostic sense, it reflects the breaking of cycles. No limit to forgiveness, only continuous release, so no inner separation forms. The heart in pain is like a stone inside the body. This pain doesn't belong to the past. It is present now. You keep it alive. Every time you replay a betrayal, you relive it. And each time you relive it, the heart contracts, closes, and hardens like a clenched fist that refuses to open. This is the body's response to memory, and this response becomes weight inside you. The person is no longer here, but the experience continues inside you. This creates a state where no light, peace, or love can enter. This stone in the heart feels like weight that contracts your inner field, making it unstable and weak. This is why heaviness is felt in the chest. It is physical incoherence. Inside the heart there is a division. One part moves toward life. The other part closes and resists. This internal conflict creates tension and fatigue. Forgiveness removes this division. It doesn't change the past. It changes how the past is held inside you. When the heart opens, everything changes. The heart is not only a pump, it generates an electromagnetic field that extends around the body. In coherence, this field is ordered and stable. In resentment, it becomes chaotic and fragmented. When you truly forgive, you are not doing it for the other person. You are doing it to harmonize your own field. It is not forgetting. It is releasing. It is opening the fist, because a closed hand cannot receive anything new. No love, no peace, no light. Forgiveness doesn't mean reconciliation. It doesn't mean trusting again. The other person may remain who they are, but you are no longer bound to the experience. It is the act of releasing the hook that connects you emotionally to those who have hurt you, giving you back the energy previously used to maintain that resentment. The alchemy of forgiveness involves 3 distinct levels: forgiving others to release the emotional connection, forgiving yourself for carrying the weight for so long, and gratitude for the wound because it created growth. At the 3rd level, pain transforms into wisdom and the frequency of light. Sit in absolute silence with your hands placed firmly over your heart. Close your eyes and breathe slowly, 5 seconds in and 5 seconds out, imagining that you are breathing directly into and out of your chest. Think of someone who has hurt or betrayed you. Notice the physical hardening or tension that arises in your chest. As you exhale, internally say, "I release you. I forgive you. I let you go." Even a small release is enough, like opening a fist by 1 millimeter each day until it fully opens. With every breath, feel the energy that was tied up in your anger returning to you. Feel the chest becoming lighter. Less pressure, more space. End by thanking your heart for its resilience and its capacity to heal. Stay with any warmth or gratitude that appears, as these states restore coherence. So Jesus said to them, "Very truly I tell you, unless you eat the flesh of the Son of Man and drink his blood, you have no life in you. Whoever eats my flesh and drinks my blood has eternal life, and I will raise them up at the last day." At the Last Supper, Jesus lifts the cup of wine and offers bread. He is speaking in the language of initiation. The bread symbolizes the embodiment of the teaching. The wine symbolizes the living consciousness flowing through it, the sacred remembrance carried within it. To eat his flesh and drink his blood is to take the Christ principle into oneself so completely that it becomes part of one's own being. The blood is far more than a fluid transporting oxygen. It is a living archive. Blood remembers everything. It is a river carrying the memory of your ancestors and the potential of those who come after you. Every drop carries memory. Every experience, every trauma, every triumph, every forgotten piece of wisdom is stored within it. Nothing in the blood is lost. We inherit the fears of our parents and also their strength. But there is something deeper. The blood of humans and the sap of plants are sisters. The molecule of human hemoglobin is nearly identical to the chlorophyll in plants. The only difference is the central atom. Plants use magnesium to capture sunlight, while we use iron to carry life. This means that when you eat plants, you are receiving stored sunlight. Your body transforms that light into human life. This is what you are, a converter of sunlight. This is why fasting has always been used by the prophets. By stepping away from dense, heavy foods, the blood clears its archive, becoming more transparent and receptive to the higher light of the Spirit. Even if you spend a few days eating only fresh fruits and vegetables, you may notice a big change. The body feels lighter, the blood becomes less burdened, and the mind grows quieter. It becomes easier to enter meditative states, connect with yourself, and feel the deeper essence when the body is no longer weighed down by constant digestion of dense food. When we eat plants, we are consuming stored solar energy, captured life force that becomes our blood, our thoughts, and our capacity to love. Blood is not only physical, it carries patterns. It carries what you have lived. It records every oath, every promise, every deep emotional contract or betrayal. This is why blood vows were once considered binding. This is why ancient alliances were sealed through blood. Even modern experiences suggest something similar. When blood is transfused from one body to another, donors sometimes pass on sensations, tendencies, or emotional traces that were not present before. Ancestral trauma can also be carried through the bloodline. To free the lineage from these imprints is to consciously wash this inner archive, releasing old memories, fears, and limitations, and replacing them with codes of awakening. In this way, the pattern doesn't continue into future generations. Forgiveness changes the internal imprint of the blood. Resentment distorts and poisons it. When Jesus spoke of his blood, he was describing a state where his inner archive had been purified to the point where it became pure light, a carrier of eternal order. Ancient teachings suggest that by purifying the blood through specific protocols, it can be cleared of stagnant ancestral memories and limiting information. This protocol was designed to transform the blood until it carries Zoe, the kind of life that has its own source and doesn't depend on anything outside. To begin the alchemy of your own blood, there is a simple practice. Once a month, take one full day of fasting with only clean water. This cleanses the blood of dense matter and makes it a more receptive, sensitive medium. During the fast, turn your attention inward. Speak to your blood silently or aloud, acknowledging it as your internal library and thanking it for carrying life. Specifically, ask your blood to release old memories, traumas, and genetic limitations inherited from your ancestors that no longer serve you. The following morning, break your fast with live foods, fresh fruits and raw vegetables. As you eat, hold the realization that you are receiving condensed sunlight. Visualize this solar light becoming your blood, your thinking, and your ability to love. Eat consciously. Give thanks consciously. Jesus said, "Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Let not your hearts be troubled, neither let them be afraid." The heart is the true center of our biological and spiritual power. While we are taught that the heart is simply a mechanical pump that circulates blood, that is actually its secondary function. In a spiritual sense, the heart is more like a sun inside your body, a generator of light that creates a field reaching far beyond your physical skin. Close your eyes and breathe through the heart. Imagine breath entering and leaving directly through the chest, not through the lungs. Can you feel it? A subtle warmth, a sense of inner space. This is the heart remembering what it is. Your heart generates the strongest electromagnetic field in your entire body. It is often described as around 60 times stronger than the field produced by the brain. This field is like an invisible sphere that extends several meters around you. When you are near someone, these fields interact. They overlap, influence each other, and create subtle communication beyond words. When you walk into a room, your field touches the fields of everyone else there. This is why you can feel someone's presence before you see them, and why a crying child immediately calms down when held by its mother. The mother's coherent heart field physically surrounds and stabilizes the child's field. This field is not fixed. It changes constantly. Fear contracts it. It becomes chaotic and dense. Resentment hardens it into a kind of internal armor. But this armor doesn't protect. It restricts and creates internal conflict and tension. Love expands it and brings coherence. Forgiveness opens it again. When two hearts enter coherence, their fields synchronize. This is what is called connection. Not emotion only, but real alignment of biological fields. The heart contains around 40,000 neurons, which communicate with the brain in a complex way, allowing it to sense patterns and even know things before they happen. It doesn't just follow orders from the head. Instead, the heart sends more information to the brain than the brain sends to the heart. In this sense, the heart leads and the brain responds. The golden heart is the pure heart. It is an instrument tuned so perfectly that it becomes the doorway through which the entire body can eventually become light. When enough human hearts enter this state of coherence together, their fields synchronize and the collective field begins to shift, triggering large-scale change in human consciousness. Millions of people remembering their own divinity, like a network of suns igniting at the same time. Sit in a quiet place where you will not be disturbed. Place your hands over the center of your chest. Close your eyes. Imagine that you are breathing directly into and out of your heart, rather than your nose or lungs. Breathe in slowly for 5 seconds, and breathe out slowly for 5 seconds. Keep this rhythm steady. As you breathe, bring to mind something you are genuinely grateful for. Don't just think about it. Feel the warmth of gratitude in your chest until it feels like a glowing golden sphere. With every exhale, visualize this golden light expanding from your heart, filling your entire body, and then spreading out several meters around you like a protective shield of light. By practicing this daily, you will notice more clarity and better